All right, baby, let's get to it because I'm here to talk about a thing. I'm here to talk about a thing. I am currently pregnant, girl. I am pregnant. At this point, I'm very pregnant. Um Thanks to God. Thanks to God, because we didn't think that this was gonna happen. Okay. If you don't know my story, you can go through my fibroid playlist up here on YouTube and you can watch everything that's been going on with my uterus child. So I'm here to talk about the inappropriate pregnancy comments that have been directed towards me since I have been with child. And like I knew that people said things that were inappropriate and or annoying, but like when does it stop? And apparently it don't even stop when you have your kid. It's just gonna keep going. So at this point, I'm just gonna snap back. I'm just gonna snap back because nobody likes unsolicited advice. So why do people believe that they should therefore share their unsolicited advice with pregnant people? I don't get it. So here are my notes. Number one that I don't like, are you pregnant? If I don't know you and you asking, are you pregnant? Then that mean that my body ain't got nothing to do with you. And I feel like it's so obvious these days for why that is so inappropriate. For one, people need to just mind their business, okay? Because their uterus has nothing to do with you. Like if that person is pregnant, are you going to pay the bills? Like I am confused. For two, women could have fibroids. I mean, that's what I went through. My uterus was the size of a 20-week pregnancy when I had my fibroids, and you couldn't tell. But there are some women out there who are carrying fibroids that are about the size of a watermelon, and they legitimately look pregnant. Another reason why you shouldn't ask that is because some women may have just had a miscarriage and they are grieving the fact that they just lost their child. And here you come, a dodo, asking them if they're pregnant. For three, some women might just be big. Like, leave people alone. No. Like, it is so freaking annoying that this conversation still needs to be had about asking women about women's business. Whew. Okay. It is not okay to ask someone if they're pregnant because some women might be pro choice. And when they find out that there might be some type of abnormalities with their child while they are actually pregnant, they might not want to tell you that they're pregnant yet. If you picking up what I'm putting down. Number two, now this one is just a little weird to me when it comes from certain people. Like from family, it's cool because I feel like they're asking this question because they want to know like how involved my husband is going to be. But from like colleagues and or like males, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And that question is, are you going to breastfeed? So this is my thought. See, I can't even I'm stuttering because this stuff is so frustrating to me because so many women struggle to be able to breastfeed and then feel guilty when they are unable to breastfeed. When a pregnant person is asked if they're going to breastfeed, you're putting a lot of undue pressure on them when carrying a child is already a lot of pressure. And if that person's answer is no, what is your follow up going to be? Is your follow up going to be the quintessential breast is best? You don't know the reasoning behind why they might say yes or no. So, therefore, you are going to be unprepared for their response, and therefore, you should not ask that question. Okay? That's just that on that. Number three, this is the one that truly pisses me off. And let me get comfortable on this one because it truly pisses me off. I'm not going to mention like who has asked me these questions or anything like that. I'm just trying to give you guidance on what has truly pissed me off. So this question was, are you going to have any more kids? And or something to the extent of, will you try for a boy? Because I am currently pregnant with a girl. This is so annoying to me because of my uterus situation. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my story, my friend died while 8.5 months pregnant, simply due to her pregnancy in April of 2022. 2 months later, I got surgery on my uterus to remove 31 fibroids. Okay. That friend that died was a friend that I had conversations with about our shared uterine issues. Um, that friend that died is a friend that I would confide in, and I was unable to talk to her about the fact that I finally got my surgery on the books. Okay. Um, so when people ask me that question, um, especially people that know that I went through a surgery, it seems so callous and so mindless that it hurts my feelings, not to the point where I want to cry because I'm sad, but to the point where I want to cry because I want to fight. And I don't think that people understand that when you get your uterus ripped to shreds and sewn back up, that is a major ordeal. That's so annoying. One of the questions that I got prior to knowing that I was pregnant was a male saying to me or asking, like, when are you going to give your mother a grandbaby? And I lost it because it was just like, dude, what? I said, well, my mother knows that my uterus has been chopped and screwed, so we don't know if that's possible. And he froze so bad, I thought that he was trying to like turn back the hands of time. Okay. And his response was like, oh, don't say it like that. Absolutely not. You don't say what you said. You're the one that's in the wrong. You don't get to dictate what comes out of my mouth because now I've made you uncomfortable with my response. No, now you're going to be uncomfortable because you made me uncomfortable. Okay. And I just don't understand, like, with all the talk about the black maternal like disparities that go on in healthcare, why people still are like pressuring black women in particular to have a child and or have multiple children. I, I'm not understanding it, y'all. Let me make sure I get this stat correct. Okay, so I'm gonna read it for you. Black women are 3 times more likely to die due to pregnancy than white women. So if you ask me about becoming pregnant, and then my response is, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to have another child because, scared I might die, or I'm scared I might die with this pregnancy, because let's be quite honest, sometimes I am. Okay. Now, if I share that and your robotic response is, oh, well, that's not going to happen to you. You don't know that. You're not a psychic and you're not God. I am not a child. Do not treat me like a child. If you couldn't handle the emotions and the vulnerability that I show you, then you should not have pride. I just don't understand why, as a culture, we continue to say these things that are so robotic in nature that lack empathy. It's just like when someone dies, and our go-to response is, oh, sending you my condolences. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Please, please. Can you not connect in some other type of way? Can you not slow down and show empathy? I don't get it. Girl, let me move on because I'm getting worked up. Number 4, are you going to have a natural birth, i.e., deliver vaginally? What does it matter if a woman decides that she is going to deliver vaginally or not? Number 2, as always, it ain't none of your business. Number 3 is between her and her OBGYN and her medical team. Now, as for me, I can't deliver vaginally. So if you ask me that question, you are now putting me in a situation where I am made to feel inferior because I cannot deliver my child naturally. So STFU. Ooh, child. I didn't think my emotions was gonna get worked up like this because I had been toying with these statements in my head for obviously months now. But just like maybe it's the venting, like I haven't been able to say this stuff to people when they constantly say these things to me. So now I feel like I can say it with a little bit of oomph. Okay. Number 5, I can barely tell you're pregnant. You're so small. Now, this doesn't offend me because this doesn't apply to me. But there are some women out there who are so incredibly sick when they are pregnant. I cannot pronounce the full word, but it's called HG. Is when they experience chronic, like unrelenting nausea and vomiting, like to the point where they are losing an extreme amount of weight when they're pregnant. And a lot of those women feel guilty because they feel like they're unable to give their baby the nutrients that their baby needs. So again, we are pairing a mother's ability to care for her child with the question that you're asking, right? So I'm fine because I've been getting thick in all the right places, so it doesn't matter to me. But another issue, like part 2 of why that's an issue, is because you don't know what type of disordered eating someone might have. So if you say something like, oh, you're so small, like you can barely tell that you're pregnant, you might be feeding into some of their disordered eating thoughts. So you really just have to be mindful of comments like that because you want to be trauma informed. So trauma informed is this concept in counseling and therapy where it's not like you treat everyone as if they have been traumatized, but you walk around the world acknowledging that there are people who have experienced trauma. So you should be sensitive to certain things. But a lot of people just lack that. Number 6, what's your maternity leave like? This is a fairly innocuous question where it's not really offensive, but I'm just like, why does it matter? Because what will be will be. I can't change nothing. Are you going to pay for me to be off from work? Is there going to be some judgment around the fact that a woman might decide or have to go back to work after 6 weeks and then you're making her feel guilty, or you follow up with, oh, I got 3 months off, I got 4 months off? Like, what's the point? What's the point? That's all that I'm thinking about. What the takeaway message should be is that pregnant people may already be experiencing anxiety. I have a bit of anxiety myself about certain things, and maybe I'll share that like later on. But pregnant people already experience a bit of anxiety and or stress. And because I am 35 years old, I am technically already high risk. A lot of things are just so annoying. So annoying. Another piece of that whole like maternity leave thing is that I am not worried about what no job can do for me. It ain't my job's job to take care of my baby or to take care of me. So as for me, I have a savings account that I started like 6 or so years ago, like intentionally saving for. And I started this, or I've been had the savings account, but I started like strategically setting aside large chunks of money when I had my horrible supervisor at the Marine Corps. And I said that that savings account was a FTJ savings account, F that job account. And it was also a, if I get pregnant and I want to quit my job and I don't want to go back for a year. So as for me, I have enough money in my savings account to take care of myself without stressing out my husband for a year. So maternity leave ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not worried about that because I made sure that I was able to take care of myself and I'm not dependent on nobody but my baby daddy. Okay? And what I can do for myself. So don't ask me no questions about my maternity leave because what will be will be. Number 7. Now I'm gonna call these people out. I said I wasn't gonna say no names, but I'm gonna call these people out. But it's with love. So the first comment that I got that annoyed me came from my mama and my baby daddy mama. It was, are you going to stop lifting those heavy weights? And I said, no, because you can continue to do what you have been doing throughout your pregnancy. Now, as time goes on, I am going to have to make some adjustments. Okay. They was talking because I was always doing hip thrusts, trying to make sure my booty get fat. So they were talking about that, right? Like it makes sense for me to not do that, right? Like my belly all in the way. But I am still running. I'll tell y'all more info about that later, but I'm still running. I'm still working out. No issues. Okay. Which leads into question number 8, baby. Now, this one, I already talked to my friends about this, so I'm gonna say it now. When are you gonna slow down? This is the question that annoys me because my friends will ask me this after asking, "How are you feeling?" And my response was, oh, completely fine, no issues. Oh, I only had like 2 weeks of nausea, never really even threw up during that time. Like it was just like smells that got on my nerves. I threw up one time. Only thing that came up was water. And then that night I had tacos for dinner and I was completely fine. Like I have had the most miraculous situation in pregnancy. Like absolutely no issues. So when I tell people how beautiful my experience has been, and then the next thing is, when you gonna slow down? Well, why did you just ask me how I'm doing if you're going to imply that I need to sit down somewhere? Girl, I be so annoyed. And now I'm just at the point where I just want to say, if you don't have MD behind your name and complete a residency in obstetrics and gynecology, then I'm gonna need for you to withhold your opinion. That's where I'm at these days. And I literally told a girl that this today at work because I'm just minding my business trying to get me some buffalo chicken dip. She told me something, no, you can't eat that because you're gonna get heartburn. I ain't had heartburn since. Keep them spells to yourself. Okay, I can eat what I want. It just be like, can people please stop projecting y'all like poor experiences onto me because I've been just fine. And I think I've been just fine because I be minding my business. Now, that gets to this point of stop comparing one pregnant person to another pregnant person. I understand that like we see a lot on social media and maybe like within our own lives of pregnant people going through a lot throughout their pregnancy, being very tired, maybe gaining a lot of weight, having a lot of issues, but that hasn't been my experience. And I am not okay being compared to other people. I don't want to sit down. I don't. Let's think about it a little bit deeply, right? Okay? Because we're not going to be surface level here. If Black women are 3 times more likely to die due to their pregnancy, and I slow down, isn't there a possibility that me slowing down could increase the likelihood of me dying? Maybe because I developed some type of health issue. I don't know, girl. Or what if I'm a little bit anxious that I might die and now I'm just trying to live my life? But you just want me to rot in the bed and eat pickles. I don't think people are ready for these conversations, and that's why they continue to have these robotic comments. And I am here in an attempt to educate people. Like I feel like I'm not your therapist, right? But that's what I am by training. And a therapist is only as good as the truth that they share with you and or help you find. Your therapist should be a truth teller. And in this moment, I am a truth teller because I'm saying the ish that other women may have said, but they might not have dug in your tail as much as I'm digging in your tail right now. Girl, anywho. Number 9, you're going to have to cut your nails because my nails is like this and longer when they grow out because this is a fresh set. My response that I just want to say is please leave me alone. Like, I really just want to figure this mother thing out on my own. And when I have questions and I specifically ask people questions, I just want to be able to ask questions and receive feedback when I am ready for said feedback. Last on my list, you're going to need a new car. All right, y'all. So remember I told you I got this savings account, right? I bought my car in 2016, brand new, paid my car off in 18 months. 2016. My car has less than 70,000 miles on it. With the current cost of living and with how much babies cost and with how much childcare costs, why are you suggesting that I take on another bill? Now, if somebody wants to gift me a brand new Volkswagen SUV, I will take it. But otherwise, that is another suggestion that I didn't ask for, that doesn't make sense for me right now because I ain't rich. The American dream is why 44% of Americans do not have $1,000 in savings for an emergency that suddenly comes up. I'm not about to get a bigger car. I'm not about to get a bigger house just because I'm about to have one baby. When we are ready to upgrade our life, then we will do so in a fiscally responsible manner. But I am not about to give up my good ass interest rate just because I got a baby. And the American dream says, oh, well, now you need 2 extra bedrooms, 1 for a playroom, 1 for the baby room. I'm not doing it. I'm tired of cussing y'all out without actually cussing y'all out. So that's all I got. Ain't got no more. If you ain't like it, then you probably said some of these things. But until next time, bye from me and my baby girl. Nobody else makes you. Nobody else makes you. Nobody